Live.
You're now watching the Star Wars Friends podcast, Razor Crest React Show. Starting in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is the way. You're watching the Star Wars Friends podcast, Razor Crest React Show, covering each episode of The Mandalorian Season 2. Don't forget to subscribe and join the conversation every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, here are your hosts, the Star Wars Friends.
What's happening, boys and girls of the internet world? My name is Christopher Marinan, and you are watching the Star Wars Friends podcast, Razor Crest Reacts. Oh my God, do I have goosebumps right now. Chapter 11 was outstanding. Outstanding. I'm like so excited to talk about this chapter. What a night. Thank you for everyone joining us. Anyone that's about to join in, this is going to be a rowdy show. So welcome to Razor Crest Reacts. I'm joined by my Star Wars friends. Who's here with me tonight?
This is Josh, and remember that time when the scoops were coming out and I said, I don't know if my heart can handle Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka and Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan in live action. We're halfway to a heart attack today.
This is Justin, and I like my chowder moving.
Ooh. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Very fresh.
And out of a tube, I hope. This is Kyle, and I felt like Ric Flair this whole episode, just in my liver. Woo! The whole time.
This is Maggie, and I would very much like Sasha Banks to just crush me with her entire self.
Oh my God! Right? The hair.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the
only
hair.
one.
Very excited about that. And everybody, I am so happy. I have wanted to talk to this person for a very long time. I've been a fan of his work for years. Mr. Mark Newbold, welcome, and glad to have you as a Star Wars friend. How you feeling?
I'm feeling very good, and I'm glad you lot are wrestling fans. That makes me happy because I'm a wrestling fan. Very pleased to be here, yes.
Yes. I usually get the wrestling references wrong, and then Josh usually comes in and lays the smackdown on me because I don't know it very well. But I know Sasha Banks, but did Sasha Banks use that name in the credits, or did she?
No, she used her name, Mercedes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is her given name?
Mercedes
Bernardo, is it?
Yep.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So, okay. Deep breaths. If you are a fan of Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Rebels, this episode really, truly delivered on levels that we only speculated about and talked about and dreamed of in ways that we couldn't even fathom. And Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, the masterpiece that they've put together, it's just so incredible. So, there we are. And Mark, tell everybody where you're at right now.
Well, the dressing gown might give it away. I'm sorry. I just got into character. It is, as I look, it's nearly 20 to 1 in the morning. So, yeah. But that's pretty normal.
Late-nighter.
I'm usually putting late ones, so it's all good.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
We appreciate it so much. And this is going to be cool. Scott, glad you can join us, Scott, in the chats. So I want to start this off real quick before we get into the roundtable. As you all know, that we have a very special cause that we are focusing on at the Star Wars Friends. So we'll tell everybody about our cause. Maggie, go ahead and dive into it and what's going on. Where are you at with the fundraiser?
Yes. So we are at, hang on, let me pull up the most accurate amount. We are currently at...
I can pull it up here, Maggie. I'll get it.
I know
up
you're
on the
faster
screen
than
for
me.
everybody. It's all good.
I had just exited $11,433 out of our $15,000 goal. We are still fundraising for the Transgender Law Center, and we will be fundraising until December 20th.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is so cool. I
5 weeks
love
left.
seeing this come through. A lot of people retweeting this. We want to thank everybody for doing that. And as y'all know, I'm giving away one of these t-shirts. If you make a $40 donation, we have gotten several $40 donations that have come through. So you can get one of these t-shirts here.
They're pretty sweet.
$100 donation will get you a hoodie. So very cool. Keep them coming. And don't forget, you got to email the show at starwarsfriends.com. If you made a $40 donation, let me know. I'll get that shirt out to you as quickly as possible. So very cool. Good work, Maggie and crew. Awesome. This is the way. Very excited.
This is the way.
Yeah, that's right.
My mom's like, hey, I owe you $80. And I'm like, why? She's like, because I want you to get 2 of those shirts for me.
Oh,
Nice.
Very cool. Oh, look at Lauren's comment here. Our good friend Lauren. I ascended after this episode. I am one with the force. Aren't
I
we
feel
all?
that.
Aren't we all? Hey, and Nix is here. Mark, you'll be happy to know that we do have a lot of great friends over in the UK. Nix is one of them. And Nix is one of the most, brilliant, really writes some of the most brilliant takes on Star Wars that I've read, especially Nix's take on Rise of Skywalker was fantastic reading that perspective. So cheers, Nix. Cheers, Mark. Everybody. I got my pond water in case anybody cares. I know there's some people in the chat are interested. This is the chamomile hop tea that I'm drinking tonight. So,
oh God.
cheers. Hey.
Oh, sorry. I almost tasted it over the internet.
It's a recurring gag where we make fun of Chris's odd beverage choices.
Yes. Now, we're about momentarily to dive into Chapter 11, the Heiress, but there is one reminder I want to give to everybody, and especially Mr. Kyle. Mark, welcome to the club. Boba Fett is alive. I just want to let everyone know that I have not forgotten this. He is alive. Boba Fett is alive. And don't you say Commander Cody, because it's not. It's Boba
Gregor.
Fett. I'm very
It's
excited.
not confirmed to be Commander Cody yet.
Gregor.
Now, here is another one that I want to lay out, Kyle. I just want to be real subtle. Ready? Oh my God. Sasha Banks is a Mandalorian. That is for you, Kyle. Very excited. Hey, listen, there's so much lore, there's so much world building that occurred in this episode, and I'm really excited to dive into it. But let's go to Mark. Mark, I want to know, let's do our roundtable here. What's your initial reactions? How did you watch the show? When did you watch the show? And take us through that whole journey.
I watched it at 8 o'clock this morning, which is the time it came on stream in the UK. So we're very lucky. People either not working or heading out to work and just about catch it. It was 35 minutes long. Yeah, you kind of stole my thunder. I was very much doing the Ric Flair thing because it had me out of my seat more than boxer size or any physio that I do. It blew me away in the best sense. I've enjoyed the first 2 episodes, great fun, but much more linear and straightforward action episodes in that sense. You know, they weren't really breaking out of the format too much. But this one, obviously, expanding, laying seeds for stuff that's coming in a big way. It woke me up. Not that I ever get much sleep. Yeah.
Oh, so good. All right, very cool. Let's go to Maggie. Maggie, how did you watch the show? You had an interesting day today.
Oh, I've had a very long day. 7 o'clock this morning, my mom came out. We set up, breakfast, and we watched it. And as soon as the Heiress title came on, I was like, Mom, it's going to be Bo-Katan. It's going to be Bo. And she watches some of my YouTube videos. So she knew who I was talking about because I've talked a lot about Satine. So she knows a lot about Bo-Katan. And as soon as the reveal came, I lost my shit.
I think all of Star Wars fandom
Oh my God. And I was so, there's a part of me that was kind of disappointed that we found out months ago that she was going to be in it. But I was also super happy that my theories, I wrote an article back in July and my theory came out to be pretty much spot on. So super happy about that. Really want to know more about Moff Gideon. I have a lot of questions after this about him.
I got a lot of Chuck Wendig Aftermath vibe from these Imperials in this episode. I was very excited about this, and we'll dive into that. I got a couple stills that are interesting. Very excited. What did you have for breakfast? Did you have the child, the little breakfast breakfast cereal?
Cereal.
I had
The
an egg
Kix,
sandwich.
Kicks with mellows.
I had an egg sandwich.
Oh, well, hey, watch out now. That'll get you in trouble. Mark,
It's like I have it like twice a week. To be
Mark,
honest.
do you have these in the UK?
No, and I'm heartbroken because I would buy one and eat one like I do with most Star Wars things. I wish they did them. We get nothing good over here.
That's
Well,
great.
No, somebody should send you some.
Yeah, well, we should send you some.
They're
Now-
everywhere here. Yeah.
They're really good too. They taste like not like Apple Jacks, but kind of like Apple
Kicks.
Jacks and Kicks.
Yeah, they're like Kicks. Do you have Kicks over in the UK?
We don't, but I have heard of them.
Okay, they're not very good.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Oh, I
Kicks,
enjoyed them.
So
The Mandalorian cereal is actually quite good.
don't worry about that.
What's your milk like? Blue, green? What are we?
They're yellow with green marshmallows.
Yeah. So it dyes it green. It would dye it a green milk. So
Mhm.
the least popular flavor in Galaxy's Edge I've heard. I like the blue milk myself, but let's go to the king of blue milk, Mr. Josh. Josh, how did you watch the show today?
So the last 2 episodes I've waited until after work to watch. So watching them right before,
That is so much restraint.
I had a premonition today that I was like, nope, today taking an iPad to work, watching it on my lunch. And man, so I like went to, we have a bunch of meeting rooms, but no one's using them right now because no one's coming in. And so I went into a meeting room, put my headphones in, and I'm just watching, and I'm like, oh, I love Mon Calamari. So like seeing a bunch of Mon Calamari, that was sweet. And then Bo-Katan comes. I see the helmet. I scream. She takes her helmet off. I see Katie. I scream.
In the lunchroom?
Yeah. And I actually have a still from the show that I want to share really quickly.
Yeah, sure, do it.
So just 1 second here.
Why do
listen.
I feel like I'm about to get attacked again.
You're not going to get attacked.
I promise.
I don't even.
This
know.
is actually
that's
my
my
favorite scene from the show. Just want to share this really quick. Right there.
Hey! I missed that scene. Was that in the post credits?
Yeah, it was post credit. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, Josh, actually, I mean, the moment that she revealed herself and it was Katie, which we all kind of knew it was going to come. I thought of you. I was like, okay, I wonder how Josh is reacting right now. I mean, for real. And Kyle, obviously, having Bo-Katan in live action, you are
loved it.
You are the Clone Wars king on this show for sure. So, what was your journey like on the episode?
Well, like I said, I worked from home today. So after my 8:30 meeting, I did some things I had to get done really quickly, and then I took sort of a little break around 9:30 or 10 and had a bowl of cereal and watched the show then, which was much better than waiting until I get off work, which is what I did the last 2 weeks.
That's hard.
Yeah, it's tough because it's out there, and it also means you can't check social media all day, which is also tough.
At all.
Yeah.
Restraint.
Yeah.
How about when you get push notifications for the Star Wars Friends Twitter account on your phone, and you have to very quickly swipe them every time they come because you're afraid they might be a spoiler?
Yeah, that's true. Luckily, I didn't have anyone. I mean, I wake up so early. I watched it super early, but no one texted me. Usually, someone will text me something that I'm like, oh, why did you send this through? But Justin, did you wake up bright and early and watch it this morning?
I slept in a little bit just because baby woke up at 2:00 in the morning and took a little extra time to go down last night. So I was pretty tired this morning, but I did get to watch it before I went into work. I've been working from home since March, so it's not much of a stretch to have some background noise, which is why I was able to get 2 watches in. I got it before I, showered up and logged into work. And the great thing is the last 3 episodes have gotten shorter and shorter. It didn't seem short.
No, it didn't.
Taking 35 minutes out of my morning to just watch it real quick, it really wasn't that bad. Instead of 54 minutes would have taken way longer. But no, it was fantastic. On the edge of my seat the whole time. Loved the action. Great callbacks. It was a good episode. Good episode.
Yeah. It was I mean, this might be one of my favorite Filoni era episodes spanning all the way back. I mean, let's be clear. This really brings a lot of the Clone Wars, stories full circle here, and it really expands the lore, the world building that we always talk about. It's just so well done. It's a masterclass of storytelling, and we're starting to see everything come together now. And to really see the live action, I want to just talk about Mandalorians and jetpacks in live action. I mean, I don't know how they are. I don't know how they are filming this. I don't know how they're doing it, but it is so well done. Literally goosebumps again, just talking about this. I will never get tired of a flamethrower on a gauntlet, and I'll never get tired of a Mandalorian with a jetpack. So I am just marveled at how they're putting these shows together. And I know at 6 a.m., I was just super geeked watching this, and I've thought about it all day, and I could not wait to get on the show to dissect it. So I'm very excited.
I get so like overwhelmed when I realize that all of that is filmed on the volume, and that just like my little brain just like can't handle that, because it looks like you're really on location, and you look like you're really on the docks and in the tavern, and all this stuff feels real. And I feel like it is really a culmination of so much of what George Lucas envisioned for ILM.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And Mark, we've talked about this. We've actually asked the question on here. Do you notice the volume at all while watching this? Do you ever think about the volume being a part of the process, or are you just immersed in the show?
Immersed. It's weird. We had Hal Hickel on Making Tracks for a couple of episodes talking about it, and he went into a certain amount of detail and did say that season 2 steps it up in terms of because obviously the software is incredible, but the hardware is the trick, and the season 1 hardware was incredible to get that stagecraft up and running, but season 2 is even more defined and even bigger, and now they've built other ones around the world. I think there's one in Australia, one at Pinewood, another one in LA. Yeah. But to a tiny degree, but really, I just got that wrapped up in this one. You do forget, and it's a great point Maggie makes, because they never go out on set, really. It's all in that big room. It's the Grady Ranch made real, isn't it? It's what George always wanted. Well, the original plan. Obviously, the tech's insanely far ahead from where he obviously ever envisioned it, because George loves green. Right from the ceiling sort of thing. But this must have. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall when he came on the set, and I'm sure he did again for season 2. It's just it's just insanely good.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, now we've how many across the 2 seasons so far, we've been to so many different locations, and you're just immersed in these locations that are so radically different. And we joked about how we figured this was going to be a monster of the week or a creature feature, just because the last 2 episodes were total creature features. And of course, we got that the Mammacore, Justin. It's the Mammacore. Yep. Oh boy, we kind of thought that the Mandalorian was going to be tested against a sea monster, a la Godzilla. We had the dragon, we had the spider, and now we were going to get the giant sea monster. But it was a different type of sea monster, and we're going to have a photo of that here in just a second. So I am pleasantly happy. Everyone happy with this episode?
More than happy.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's start diving into the episode here. As y'all know, I have a little bit of technical difficulty loading up some of these photos, so bear with me as I try to pull these up, everybody. Let's see here. Let's go to screenshot number 1. What do we have listed as number 1? I don't even know what these are. There we are. The Heiress. Did we all know it was Bo-Katan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark, did you have a feeling when you saw the show title that it would be Bo-Katan?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew the scuttlebutt was pretty hot, wasn't it, on this one? So it made sense. As soon as that popped up, it kind of started to all really solidify. But yeah.
This is so cool. I mean, they haven't released the chapter names. Am I correct? There was like a quote unquote leak or a weird scoop about the names, and they turn out to be incorrect already. This would be interesting if they carried this theme all the way through the season. I wonder what the next episode will be. Maybe it's the former bounty hunter who fell in the Sarlacc pit and got revived and now lives on Tatooine with the Tusken Raiders.
Fat man.
That will fit in a really nice Disney Plus show title, though. So.
I think we're going back to Navarro next week.
You think we're going back to Navarro? Really?
Yeah, because the ship was in such bad, there's no way it can make it to the moon where Ahsoka is.
It was in great shape for Mon Calamari. I don't know what you're talking about. It's in great shape.
Duct tape and fishing nets. Kyle, what's on your mind?
You know, I actually started thinking we were going to see Bo-Katan or some other Mandalorians that we knew when they did the previously on stuff, and they mentioned the stuff about, have you ever taken your helmet off? And has it ever been removed by anyone else? And that made me think, like, oh, they're reminding us of this. We're nerds, of course we remembered, but like maybe not everybody does. Yeah. And I thought for sure we're going to see a Mandalorian that takes their helmet off. That's why they're saying this to us.
Right.
I have what might be an unpopular opinion.
Uh-oh.
Well, you're coming to the right place.
So seeing Bo and her two night owls in action, combined with finding out that Din is a religious zealot,
right,
kind of makes him a lot less cool than he used to be in my head.
You think so? I don't think so.
A little bit. Well, he's sort of like indoctrinated by the.
Not so much that part, like that was part of it, but just seeing how like you think he's real crisp, and then you see them in action, you're like, oh, he's
for
just
sure.
like a B+ player.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Oh, and I feel like he felt that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. That was.
He was kind of like watching them fight, like.
He's like, maybe I'm over this mask, this helmet thing. Maybe it's okay.
Well, and I think that was part of their pitch to him too.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, come with us. Look at how slick we are.
Look what I can do.
Yeah, look at what I can do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that everyone else picked up on that too. I know that it wasn't super subtle, but it was so well done. I mean, the action scenes, once again, directed so fantastic. Choreographed the choreography was phenomenal. I mean, really, these fight scenes were exceptional for anything, not just Star Wars, for any medium. They were great.
And while we're talking about it, how cool is the Child of the Watch? Like after the Death Watch who tried to break away and start their own, Mandalorian killer people, basically, back in the Clone Wars. That's like a very cool connection.
It really is. And I'm so happy they're expanding this lore, because I know a lot of us were kind of, we've asked the questions like, what happened? What's the purge? Why can't they take their helmets off? What's the deal? Now we're getting answers. And it's making the show so much bigger. It's making the story so much bigger. I can't wait to see where this goes. I mean, I love the religious zealot angle. It kind of makes total sense. Makes sense. Perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, we already knew he was Death Watch, a child of Death Watch, because the armor when he was picked up. That's
interesting to me.
So this comment from my friend Brandon is interesting, and I this actually doesn't surprise me after talking to him about like the differences in his fandom and mine, that he, not knowing who they were. Yeah, I could see them coming off that way. Obviously they are not bad guys, but
for sure
without knowing who they, like, we've all seen Bo-Katan in like several episodes of the cartoon. So, her backstory is flushed out.
Different cartoons. Yeah.
Well, we trust the Mando, right? We trust him. We know that the Mando is an honorable person, has a creed, protects the child. We all as audience members, we really trust him. So when Bo-Katan breaks the deal and Mando makes that comment, if you're a casual fan, if you're just watching The Mandalorian for the first time on Disney Plus, you don't know the rest of the backstory, you will think that Bo-Katan might be a baddie. Yeah, for sure.
I was a little bit disappointed when Mando didn't say, "Oh, this deal gets worse all the time."
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Did you guys notice when Bo takes her helmet off the first time, the child looks up at Din like,
"Oh, really?" No, I didn't.
He looks straight up at Din like, "Hey, come off."
Yeah. Yeah, I will definitely go back and notice that. Now, Mark, our friend Mike Heiress is asking a question. Do you think we'll see Mandalore? What do you think? You think we're going to go there?
Somebody asked me that again today, funny enough. I think we probably will. I mean, we've been there before, so it'll be interesting to go there again.
You think this season?
It kind of feels like the Discovery season for his heritage, so maybe yes. I mean, obviously, we've got Ahsoka coming up, so spoiler alert. She's got history with Mandalore, so maybe, it's sort of season 7 tie-in. It could happen. I don't know. I mean, going back to the stagecraft thing, I'm desperate for them to go to Coruscant at some point. I'm so keen.
Yes. Can you imagine what the volume can do with Coruscant?
how well Attack of the Clones did it 20 years ago, and to see it now, I think would be incredible. So that's a personal tick list. But yeah, it's a great question. I think we will see Mandalore.
Yeah,
I'm really see what it's in.
I have a theory that it'll be season 3. That it's like setting it up, like introducing the middle, and then like 3 will be the getting to Mandalore and rebuilding it, which I think is a popular theory among fandom.
Yeah,
I agree. Show, isn't it? It's a slow burn show, so if it takes time to get there, that's all gravy for us, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yes, I would love that. I do have a theory we're going to break into a little bit later in the show. I
have a theory too that I want to talk about.
Yeah, very excited about this. So let's keep rolling through the show here. Thank you everyone for chiming in on the chats. I'm going to try to pull up as much as possible and answer your questions as they come through. Look at this nod to Solo, a Star Wars story with that crane, and this is really cool. I love seeing it and actually hear the mechanics like really fun. This whole entry into atmosphere was exceptional. This was so funny. Let's see if I can pull up this still here. So the episode opens after the title screen, and you got this jalopy Razor Crest heading into atmosphere at Trash. It was called Trask, right? Is that the name of the planet?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're heading into Trask, and the Razor Crest is so messed up that he doesn't have any He doesn't have any fuel. It
lost a piece when it entered atmosphere too.
The hull had no integrity, and he didn't
right
have any
into the
shields.
Ocean.
Yeah, so you're in this ocean planet, and he goes through the atmosphere, and ship catches on fire naturally. He's getting the radio call, Razor Crest, you're too fast. And you know that he's trying his best. And asked Frog Lady, a really good sidekick, clearly, has the little, what it called, the noisy cricket blaster, Padme's blaster, and then also is a pretty capable co-pilot. I would assume give Chewie a run for their money. Eh? So Frog Lady's pulling back on the stick, and it gets one of the most funny moments of the show. And I already gave the reveal away because I had mislabeled the photos. Sorry. But the Razor Crest tries to land on that platform, and
tries being the keyword.
They're just hovering
so
over
close.
the platform.
So
and you're like, okay, yeah, this will be good. And it just dumps right into the sea after a jet kicks off in one of the most comedic moments in all of the season. So this is really good. There it is, getting picked up out of the water there again by that I don't know, AT-AT crane that we see on Corellia making
Lauren said in the chat that Bryce said that was a nod to Apollo 13.
That. It was a nod to her dad's film.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. That whole entry scene, I've talked about this on previous React show. I love when we're all diehard Star Wars fans. There's no way around it. But like when you can feel tense watching Star Wars, you get those genuine emotions, man, that's like, I chef's kiss to Mr. Favreau and Mr. Filoni and Bryce Dallas. This is just like so well done. But Mark, do you feel that tension? Do you feel watching these episodes? I mean, you're so immersed in Star Wars and on so many different levels. Do you still get that moment of emotion when you watch these shows?
Yeah, blimey, yeah. I mean, the thing I love about this show, unless very recognizable characters come in that we know survived beyond this point, I think anything can happen in a show called The Mandalorian. If the show's called Din Djarin, I'd feel rather confident he would survive every encounter he goes into, but who knows? And there's plenty of those out there that could take on the mantle of leading this show. We've already referred to a couple. So yeah, I mean, that opening sequence was wow. I mean, I used to do a lot of D6 West End roleplay back in the day, and that kind of drop into a planet was something we did a lot. So to see it visualized on screen was just like awesome. Yeah, really, absolutely, yeah.
It's so good, and I just really wonder how much more the Razor Crest can take. Someone in the chat earlier said that the Razor Crest dropping in the atmosphere was like going through 2020. Yeah, I would agree.
I feel that.
Full agree on that one. All right, let's see what we have.
They have to fix it. They just sold however many thousands of like $700 toys. So.
I was gonna say that same thing, Kyle.
will.
Like I just bought the Razor Crest.
They can't
It's
be like,
coming.
oh, it's gone
don't
now.
Tell me it's a new ship. I'm gonna be like, no,
Right.
thank you, Hasbro.
Because the next stretch goal would be to cover it in barnacles and string, wouldn't it?
Oh my
Yeah,
wow, by the end of
love
this,
that guy.
yeah, this guy is too
He's
funny.
I didn't
Rocking the
notice that
Knives Out
sweater.
Yeah,
Yep.
look at that sweater.
Yeah.
Looks
I
like
mean,
a he'd be a Norwegian fisherman or something like that,
Totally.
like Cape Cod or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
he's giving
Now-
Ransom a run
They're
for his
working
money.
the docks, man.
Yeah,
You know that this cosplay is going to be hot.
Everywhere.
This is going to be hot. So I love this guy. His voice was hilarious. He was
Mhm.
just like the grumbly, docs person. And I just, oh my goodness, so much fun. This is classic Star Wars humor at its best. He was just so pissed. He's like, "Oh, great, I gotta deal with this thing now." Like,
What did he say? He's like, "Can you fix it?" And he's like, "Fix it." He's like,
You can make it
he's
fly.
like,
yeah.
he's like, and then he hands him the credits, and then he looks at it, and he's like, "I'll fill it up with fuel if it still holds
If
fuel."
it still holds it, yeah. Which that brings up a question I had about this episode.
yeah,
Is I remember in the beginning of season 1, he was like, I need every bounty you can get me. I don't even have enough money to put fuel in my ship and all these things. And then
Right.
he gets that Camtono of Beskar, but he used the whole thing and then donated the rest. And now it seems like he just has an unlimited source of money. He's like, yeah, I'll cover your bet. I'll pay to fix the ship.
Right.
I'm not
He's
going to
spent a lot of money.
gamble.
every
Like he's
episode.
just throwing money around. And where's it all coming from?
thought crossed my mind as well, Kyle. I definitely thought, same thing. Where
Maybe
did he get it from?
Death
Broke,
Watch
but he had like
Trust Fund.
extra money saved.
Death Watch Trust Fund.
My question is, where do you keep the calamari flan? Like, it seems like it needs to be stored in a cool, damp place, but he's like always walking around with it in his
Got a
pocket.
humidor.
Like, doesn't
a
it
little
melt or like
wallet
stink or
humidor?
anything?
Probably
Right.
stinks. Calamari flan probably stinks, I would imagine. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it has to.
Odorous like currency. That's doesn't make
Gelatinous
sense.
money.
Who is so stoked to see the flan come back? I was so happy. I was like, okay, full circle. Here we are. Brilliant. It was so good. All right. So he finally docks. He meets that super grumpy, awesome docks calamari, docksman. Probably not given a name, but if there is, it'll probably be on Wikipedia soon. But then we get a reunion of the Frogman and Frog Lady, beloved characters. Great costuming, of course, and they embrace on this very dark planet, and they bring just a little bit of brightness to everybody's life.
It was
So-
such a sweet moment.
it really was. It was so cute. It was so cute. So this cuteness was interrupted shortly after, by, hang on, let me get this cute up here. There you go, Kyle.
Yes.
It was interrupted by this because we knew what was going to happen. We talked about this. Kyle might not agree.
I feel like I said she wasn't a Jedi. I don't like. Did I say she wasn't a Mandalorian?
Yeah, I think you disagreed with Josh
Get
and
this thing
I.
off the screen here. There we go. All right, there she is.
Oh, but before this, there was the funny moment with Din realizing he needs to feed the child. Because the child was eyeing
gotta
him
go to
up
the-
again,
Finally
and he
said
was
Go to
like,
the inn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's like, I need to go feed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because he's eyeing up the egg container. So there's that scene. Here's the scene that we saw in the trailer that we all speculated on. And yeah, Kyle, you're right. We did think that maybe at one point in time Sasha would play a Jedi. Mark, did you have any theories when the trailer came out who Sasha Banks would play? Did this kind of line up with your thoughts?
Without giving too much away, a friend of mine actually used to work for WWE, and he's friends with her husband. And didn't know too much, but knew a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we sort of knew whispers, but nothing solid because we didn't want to spoil it. It's no fun when you know too much.
Right.
Yeah.
A little bit. That was a cool little reveal. But He didn't mention Mandalorian. He sort of said what she wasn't, but didn't say what she was, which I kind of didn't mind. That's
right.
one box, isn't it? So, but yeah.
Yeah. So that was that's cool. That's it's hard to hold on to those secrets. Hard to hold on to that. And Yeah, goodness gracious, was the reveal very fun. So we see Sasha, she kind of drifts in the shadows to follow up on Maggie's point about needing to eat. They go into this nice little this warm seafood cantina that they have there on Trask, and it's all operated by Mon Cala. You get to start seeing some Quarren, who we know are nasty folk. That's a nasty folk, which we're going to find out here in a minute. But they sit down to the table. What? They're always rude. They're always mean. And look at this cute little thing. Kyle, focus on this here.
They helped save the planet, but
little face hugger here.
There was the scene that we thought we were going to get last week.
Yeah,
it came an episode later.
It came around.
Yeah,
this was funny. They serve the soup out of a hose that just kind of comes from the ceiling, which is bizarre. I like the
poses a lot of questions. Like, how does it keep the chowder warm, or is it cold chowder?
I don't think you want to know. I don't think you want to know.
I have a lot of questions.
Is that the only thing on the menu too? It seems like there's one hose with one thing going into the bowls.
I did like the guys using like salt and pepper though at the table.
Oh yeah,
wow, wouldn't you?
They were seasoning their soup.
Can I say I actually thought like, oh, they this is so dumb. But Quarren and Mon Cala live underwater, so of course they would want their food to be salty because they like live in the briny deep.
Yes.
It's like the like when you go to a strange place though, right? When you travel and somebody says, where's the best place to eat? And somebody says, dude, you got to go here, right?
You got to try the room temperature chowder.
Hole in the wall restaurant. And you're looking at it on the outside going, do I really want to eat here? And you're going, all right, I'm going to trust him. I'm going to take his word. And you go in, you get the food, and the food is amazing, but like inside it's just nasty, right? Yeah. It's that kind kind of place.
Charming. It's
like,
very
don't
charming.
question the food, just enjoy.
Yeah.
Ugh,
yeah.
Chum bucket, not appetizing.
Jolie hits it right on the head here. That is total chum bucket. And we'll just call it chum bucket. That's chum buckets. That's the actual waiter. He's the informant who gets the calamari flan. It's chum bucket.
That's the namesake of the inn. Yeah.
We'll talk to Jason Fry. We'll make it canon.
Chowder hole sounds inappropriate, Mike Heiress.
The chowder hole.
Chowder hole.
It sounds like a place on the east coast of the U.S. Okay, so there we go. It's true. It's true. I've probably eaten there before. All right, so let's keep moving through this episode here. So you get the funny little face hugger scene. You get the calamari flan across the table, and the Mandalorian is told by a Quarren that he can take them to a place, but he's got to get on a barge or what have you. So
a couple hours boat ride.
That's right. So
just talk about how trusting Mando is. He's just like, yep, sure, I'll just get on this boat with you.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Well, that
confidence.
Speaks to
it's confidence.
Oh, it's such a bad move.
Chowder dump. Chowder dump is also a very appropriate Mon Cala like dive bar name. All right. So we are on the barge here, and we're just seeing these gorgeous. I mean, this is on the volume. This is done on the volume, and you can't. I mean, it is just unreal what this technology can do. And as our friend Kevin Cabral points out, it is also on the Unreal Engine. So this was a cool scene, and you think that, okay, they are going to wherever the Quarren says they're going to go. And he asks him, what? Have you ever seen a Mamagor or what is it called?
Mamagor.
I don't know. I'm learning just like everyone else. So he asks him the question. He goes, no. And of course the Quarren's like, well, this is something the young one or the child should see. And they go over this pit. And as you know, if you ever watch Deadliest Catch, they have their hold in the actual the barge there. So of course there's these scary looking bars. They open up, and wouldn't you know it, Kyle, I don't like Quarren. I don't trust them. Listen, I'm on brand. I don't trust the Quarren.
He doesn't like Quarren. He doesn't like Trandoshans.
I don't like Trandoshans.
I
You can't trust them. They eat.
Just because some Quarren are bad guys doesn't mean all Quarren are bad guys, Chris.
These are terrible.
They're each individuals with free will.
These are terrible Quarren. So
these Quarrens were jerk. I'll give you that. They were jerks.
Yeah.
Well, I got a photo of one of these Quarrens here. Let's look at the costuming once again, real quick, before we move on to the creature reveal. This it's so happy. And Mark, I mean, you've obviously have enjoyed Star Wars for a long time, and to see some of these classic characters be brought to life in live action, how does that make you feel seeing, Squid Face now in like a real live action movie?
I was surprised Gerald Home wasn't part of this episode with Moncal and Quarren in there. I've got to say that. The detail on this was insane. And we get to it in a bit, the fight scene, or one of the many fight scenes. When you look at the facial expressions and just the detailing on it, it was just next level stuff. So yeah, no, it is. It's to see that many as well. Yeah, awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. But and here 42069, he just looks evil. Yeah, you knew that this guy was up to no good, and definitely Pirates of the Caribbean vibe too in a lot of the company. So very cool.
Very good. Yeah.
Really love that. All right, so let's look at this terrifying thing here. Do not have this one labeled. Bear with me just 1 second, y'all. Yell at me all you want. You can tweet at me, known as Chris. I had this saved. I don't have it in here.
It looks like a flattened out Rathtar.
You know what?
You're right.
It's like instead of round, it's like this, and its mouth is just on the one side. It's like a pancake Rathtar.
Oh, this is not it, but this is also funny. This is also very funny. So a little discuss, if you will, as I go find the Mammacore. So
it also kind of reminded me of a Sarlacc with the teeth.
Yep.
Or a leech.
Yeah.
Yeah. Star Wars loves those circle teeth.
Hate them.
Yeah, they do. Y'all, I know I have it in a browser, but I'll find it eventually. So the Quarren kicks the child, or
it's horrifying.
Yes, in the little pram, right into the mouth of the beast. My goodness, was that scary?
Per what we were talking about earlier, did anybody feel like the child was actually in real danger when this happened?
Well, at this moment, I mean, I don't think okay, here it is right in front of us here.
Yes.
Kyle, you tell me.
Well, I mean, you thought that in season 2, episode 3, that the child was just going to get eaten by a creature on a boat, and that was the end of the child?
I've seen
I
crazy
felt like
things.
he could have gotten seriously injured.
Okay.
I mean, the pram got destroyed, so we lost the pram. We lost one thing. This was this Quill's pram, or did we already lose Quill's
I think
pram?
so.
It should be Quill's pram.
I think this is
you lost the first pram at the client's home base there.
That's right. So we lost Quill. We lost the memory of Quill. So R.I.P. Quill again.
Well, I was wondering if this means, are they just going to get him a new one, or now is this going to be like a device where Baby Yoda is getting carried and walking around more?
I need him just strapped to the front of Din's chest. I wanted that in season 1.
Just a baby Bjorn.
A baby Bjorn. Like, he just needs to be chilling, hanging out there. I mean, we already see that he's having the time of his life watching things get blown up.
Right.
So.
Well, which as much as they love jetpacks, let's just get the child a jetpack.
Hey, a Mandalorian with a jetpack is a weapon.
Yes.
So that was terrifying. That creature was terrifying.
I was not having a good time.
Let's quick rank. Okay, everybody, round table. Let's quick rank the scariest to least scariest monsters we've seen in chapter 9 to chapter 11. Crate Dragon, Spider, and the Mamagore, or Mamagore, right?
Mammacore.
Mark, go ahead. What is the scariest to least scariest that we've seen so far?
Crate Dragon, I'd say the scariest. Least scariest is this.
Okay,
Really?
okay. Josh?
Spiders.
What's
I'm
the
going
least scariest?
Spiders.
I mean, the Crate Dragon, I think, is more formidable, but it's not scary. Like I didn't want to look away from the screen when it was on, but the spiders, I was just like, okay, can we get out of this cave? I'm good.
Maggie, scariest to least scariest.
The Mammacore, whatever, just because I have a really big fear of drowning, so that whole little sequence was not a good time for me.
Yeah, that's the other part, is that Mando was stuck under the...
I did not like that.
Yeah, that's a terror. I mean, really, that goes back to, at least for me, Titanic.
That's like the kind of nightmares I have, like where I'm stuck and I can't get out and I'm drowning. So not a good time.
Yeah. Justin, what about you? What's the scariest, least scariest?
Scariest is spiders for me, but that's partial arachnophobia. So, and then I would say for me the least scariest was the Crate Dragon. Just, I mean, its size and it's formidable per what Josh said, but it's not super scary.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, and plus
cool.
Justin is impervious to acid, so I mean, of course, he's not going to be
This is
terrified
true.
of this. So,
Also true.
Kyle, what is your scariest creature so far?
Well, I was going to agree with Mark because, like, obviously the crate dragon is the thing that I would least want to have to encounter. But
Yeah,
I
right.
think I'm actually going to agree with Maggie because in real life, I am terrified of a vicious ocean-dwelling creature.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
So,
Okay, good point. I don't even go in the ocean without water shoes.
Water
on.
socks.
I could have stopped that earlier. I don't go in the ocean, so
Yeah, that is terrifying. I would. Okay, I'm not well equipped to battle any of these. I think in real life, the crate dragon would
I don't
be-
want to run into any of them.
I don't want to see any of them. I think the crate dragon would probably be. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Crate dragon probably for me. Spiders and the water monster, but I wouldn't. Terrifying. Okay, sorry. I didn't know I was going to have to answer that my own question because that is scary.
How's that feel for you, Chris?
It's a terrifying feeling.
Yeah, you just
All
wait
right.
till we make you do that match game one time.
All right. Oh yeah. So all right, let me get caught back up here. I got to go through my tabs. So of course the child gets out, but who? I mean, listen, Mando was trapped. Mando's underneath there. The child's inside the mammoth core. All hope is lost. This is one of those moments in the hero's journey where we find a savior and oh come on, you know what's up? Look at it. There it is.
I lost my shit.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, crazy. So there she is.
Actually, it's Carice.
Well, thanks, Josh. Bo-Katan, everybody.
Look
So,
at that helmet.
It's so sweet. It's so sweet.
Gosh, it's amazing.
So you get to see three Mandos flying on jetpacks to save the day. They're just blasting like crazy. For eagle-eyed
They
viewers,
came out blasting.
Yeah,
Just like
you probably knew it was night owls if you were eagle-eyed, and you had your brightness turned up on your TV quite a bit. But man, this was so incredible. And then when they land, let's go ahead and pull this next one up here. When all the Mandos land, they kind of get him out of the little tank there. They reveal themselves. Oh goodness gracious me! Is this?
I loved how quick he went from being really excited to see Mandalorians to be
Right.
like, take that
How did you
armor
get
off
that
right
armor?
now. I'm going to kill you, even though you just saved my life.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. It's really crazy. Actually, let me pull
I
up
got a
this
question.
photo here. Go ahead, Kyle.
how did everybody feel about the wig?
I liked it.
Yeah. I'd
It
like
was
it.
okay. I said before the show started, I felt like they tried a little too hard to make it look like the cartoon and didn't try to
Yeah.
make it more realistic. But also
That's what-
red is a really hard hair color to make a wig for. I don't know why. I've only seen one good red wig in my entire life, and that includes like professional theater.
I think if she didn't have the headband underpiece there, it probably would have looked weirder. But I mean, since she's always had that, for me, it just kind of blended it nicely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it covers the seam and I don't notice it. And I thought it looked pretty good.
I'm gonna go ahead and hard agree with Lauren Romo and say
She
the
looked
kid-
amazing.
So
No,
good.
it did look amazing, and the armor is so good. I agree with Maggie. I think the wig just looked a little
Really?
like they're
I
trying
I
to
think it
copy the
helps
cartoon a little
that
too
it's
much.
Katie, so that you're hearing her voice and you're seeing her and
Right.
she looks like Bo. And I think that helps for some people for the wig not to be so jarring because you're all like primed to recognize her. But like when I don't know. My mom and I were both just like, oh, that's a bad wig.
I felt like her natural hair might have looked a little better.
If they had
but-
dyed her natural hair,
I got to be real. I never even thought about the wig once. It was not even in my brain once. I
just
got
noticed it. I'm not. I mean, it was still a great episode. I just
I
noticed
want
it.
to comment on Fulcrum Drawn's comment. So I have had the same hairstyle for 26 years, and my mother has had the same hairstyle for 32 years. Once you get a hairstyle you like, you just don't change it. So it works. She's wearing a helmet like half the time.
Yeah, she's got helmet hair. I mean, it doesn't
I
matter.
mean, you don't really need to be styled. Though I will say I really liked
I loved
Sasha's
it.
hair.
I loved it. Mark, how did you feel about Bo-Katan reveal? What was going through your mind?
I want to know what product she uses because her hair looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I didn't even consider the wig. I didn't even give that a thought. It's a good point. I will definitely have to look at that again. But yeah, no, just because we've got so used to Din not taking the helmet off, and we only saw him once last season just to prove it was actually Pedro under the armor. You know, when he was all battered and thought he was done for, which he did a couple of times in season 1. Yeah, the Mudhorns episode, he thought he was done for. Episode 8, he thought he was done for. You know, to have that reveal moment, which we're so used to from, you know, Django and other stuff. For him it was a bigger moment for him. It was as big a moment for him as it was for us, because we're all nerding out going, oh my God, it's Bo-Katan and all the other stuff. But for him, he's meeting Mandalorians, the joy, you know, John, you know, the come with me if you want to live, or the scene when he's a kid in the bunker and the Mando lands and reaches his hand out. You know, it's very similar iconography in that sense. And then they take the helmets off. They might as well have mooned him, you know, his reaction.
He's so offended.
Yeah.
Right.
He was very taken aback. Yeah.
It was very well acted, and we've talked about how Pedro has really upped his acting game this season. You know, not being able to demonstrate facial expressions, really being expressive with his body, and obviously a lot more lines of dialogue here. And you're right. I mean, it was so well played. You got to think you to their words, he is a religious zealot and knows one creed and has grown up with one creed. So it's got to just be, I mean, really shocking. So well played. Well,
and I think this is.
Sorry, I say he had no idea. To be told you're a religious zealot when you know nothing else. That would knock you back.
That is shocking.
Yeah.
Well, and she commented on that later too. Is like they want us separated. They want us to think this. They want us to be divided because we're stronger together. And I think this is also going to be, because I mentioned this last season, like how brave of Disney to spend all this money on like one of the most handsome men in the business and keep his face covered the whole time. But like now he's going to figure out like, oh, I can just take the helmet off. It's actually just to keep my head from getting cracked open.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot wait to see that moment of like everything I have known my entire life was wrong. Like, not wrong, but like was twisted. And I hope they play that well. And especially with the comparison to being a zealot.
Yeah. They've done it with Ahsoka, and they've done it with Darth Maul, and they've like, this is a Star Wars thing. So.
I can't wait for him to be Ahsoka. Because like,
I don't think anyone can wait. I mean, that is like, I mean, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. Very good. All right. So we get Bo-Katan finally here. Katie Sackhoff. Wow. How cool is it that we get the voice actor from the cartoon to actually play her live action self? That is just a really master stroke there. Very well done.
She's perfect for it too. I mean, that couldn't have worked out better.
Oh, so unreal. So he learns a couple things, and he's like super not into it and runs away basically.
He's like, peace out.
and so he takes off. He goes back to the dock, right? This is kind of where I've only seen the episode once. So he flies back to the dock, and the Night Owls kind of hesitate, and they chase after him eventually. But it's not like a chase. It's not a chase scene. They're just
they show up after the Quarrens corner him again.
Yeah, they don't come after him. Yeah, they did blow up that ferry he was on there.
Yeah, they blow up the boat. And then where does Din go? He goes to
I think it cuts to him walking down that alley, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He gets jumped. Well, he gets cornered by the guy's brother, the captain's brother.
Right.
He says, "You killed my brother."
Posse.
Yeah, and his crew
or his
posse.
school, their aquatic
gang.
It was like West Side Story.
2, Porn 3.
Yeah, a little bit of West Side Story, a little bit of Warriors. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
It's unidentified Quarren Boatman first appearance. Unidentified Quarren Boatman's brother first appearance.
Can't even get a name. It's just
unidentified Quarren's brother.
How much fun?
That's worse than Frog Lady's husband. That's bad.
I love that
Quarren Boatman's brother. Yeah,
they are intentionally not naming characters. They're not giving characters names. If you go through the cast listing, they're not.
But they haven't at all. Because like the Mandalorian, the armor, the child,
Dr. Mandible.
Dr. Mandible
Give it
wasn't
up.
actually his name, though. That was
Right.
the nickname that Pelly had for him.
Well, but then they do go to great lengths to intentionally give other people names.
Yeah,
like
it's like
the
there's
Paz
no-
Vizsla and the X-Wing pilots.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So interesting there. Now, okay, so he's cornered by these thugs, of course,
I don't know why they got to be thugs, but
they're thugs. They're
upset.
They were gonna rough them up. They're ruffians. They're ruffians.
They're
I know.
Revengers.
It's Chris
They're
is showing his
ruffians.
true
They're
colors
ruffians.
here.
Ruffians.
Unidentified
Ruffians. That's
foreign
the
ruffian.
1890s version of thug.
Hey, we
now,
had
okay.
privy last week. I mean,
So we did get
well,
privy
I
last
guess-
week.
Yep.
A ruffian.
So-
Ruffian. If you want
Ruffian,
some
yeah.
19th century.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So he can't get out of this mess. He's really in rough shape here. Who comes to rescue? Of course, the Night Owls. They really want to get Mando into their posse because they know that they have a big heist they got to pull. They got like Tobias Beckett. They got to put together a crew. So they're going over this Mando.
What? And I think, like, not to cut you off, but I think
Yeah.
bigger than that, Bo-Katan's trying to unite the Mandalorians too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
she
her whole
knows
thing.
they need to
Bigger
be one
mission.
people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bigger mission.
Stronger
And
in
that's
numbers.
the rest, hasn't he? Din's got a good reputation. It must be out there. People must know. I mean, I know stepping ahead a bit, but he's the tank in this episode. He takes all the hits. So
Big time.
He really did.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right. The reputation must be out there from the guild and obviously the New Republic. They saw his work and they let him live. And they were kind of a little respectable there. So here we are, though. He couldn't get out of this mess. So the Night Owls come in and they, of course, full guns blazing, blast him out of there. Every Corrin's gone, and he's like, all right, let's just go get something to eat, right? He's like, didn't they invite him to go get a drink or go get
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but
she
you
said
missed
at
the
least
best
let us buy
line.
you a drink.
Yeah,
What
you
was the
didn't.
best line though?
What was the
When
best line?
She goes, "He didn't kill your brother. I killed
I
your
did."
brother."
Oh,
I did.
Yeah,
And then they just light him up.
that's
They
right.
made
That's
short
right.
work of the Quarren.
Yep.
Yeah. So here we go. They're inside the chowder house or the chowder hole, as we now call it, right? The chowder hole, and they are openly talking about what's going on here, everything about the Mandalorian Creed, taking the helmets off, finally getting through to him. And he agrees to go on a mission because he is so desperate to find this Jedi to deliver the child to, so that they can find the home planet of this species. So at all costs, the Mando's gonna try to figure this out. He's going against his creed, working with these folks he might not necessarily trust, but just like Bo-Katan trying to unite the Mandalorians, he's going after his larger mission. So, what happened?
What did you guys think when she leveraged that information that she knows where a Jedi is? Did you think of a particular Jedi at that?
100%. First thought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Bo is not going to send that child off to the Jedi knowing what she knows about the Jedi from Ahsoka. Like,
Well,
no way.
she does know Obi-Wan very well is the other thing, but I mean, I thought it was Ahsoka too.
Isn't-
I'm just saying.
Obi-Wan gone?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I guess he is.
Because Ben Solo is like
Yeah,
5 years
This
old.
is- yeah.
no,
Obi-Wan's been
Yeah, he's
dead for
gone,
like
but
9
she-
years now.
I don't think she would have a problem sending them to Jedi based on her experiences with Obi-Wan and
No, but I
Ahsoka.
think she's probably known more about the stuff from Ahsoka
Yes.
because they were friends.
Yeah.
So she
They're
knows that
buddies.
Ahsoka
She's-
left.
She slapped her on the butt in the ice planet. They're like super tight.
That's true. That's true.
It's true.
Josh, what you got?
two things. Ahsoka's not a Jedi. Second
Exactly.
thing, does this, speaking of Obi-Wan, does this episode confirm that Corky is dead because she's the last
I
of
don't
her
want to
line?
talk about it. I do not want to talk about it. I'm leaving.
I knew that would trigger you. She gone. Bye, Maggie.
That's a good point.
Okay.
I just have to say, Candace, as soon as Candace watched today, we were both like, where is our son? Where is our boy?
Hanging out with Jason Sindula, duh. So they're best
I
buds
refuse
now.
to accept that Corky is dead.
Well, hey, Boba Fett's
He would.
alive, so anything can happen. All right, so they make this deal, and they want to heist. They want to make the heist because the planet they're on, Trask, they're running arms. It's like a black market, and they are running arms for the Remnant Empire. And there's this shuttle that's about to depart, and the Mandalorians, the Night Owls, need Mandalorians' help to to basically take the goods, right? They want to take the armory back. And he's like, all right, cool, I'll do it. So he puts the child with the caretakers, the frog lady and frog man, who have a hatchling that is emerging. So you get to see the child in awe of the beauty of life and the little hatchling come out of the egg.
Can I just talk about this moment and how I liked that it showed him realizing that they were children?
Yes, exactly.
And like they did make a big deal about it, but it's like that is clearly the intent of that was for him to learn. And so I thought that was really nice because like we all know how children are. Children don't really recognize things. Like take a kitten, for instance. Sometimes children don't understand that is like something, not a toy. And so I thought it was like a nice little like seeing it as a living being.
Yeah, agreed. And man, once again, speaks to the master class of the creators on this show. The emotion that you're seeing out of this puppet is just,
oh my gosh, it's insane.
It's so cool. It's so cool. Saul, thank you very much for backing me up. Kyle, go ahead and read Saul's comment on the screen there.
Okay, like lots of people are just because lots of corner assholes doesn't mean every corn is an asshole. They also
the ones
did.
We know so far.
They did rise up to save their planet with Prince Lichar. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, leave Lichar out of this mess. Oh, don't say his name on this show. All right, so here we are. We are now in this Imperial transport leaving Trask, and we get 2 British officers and 1 American officer. Mark, were you taken aback by the lack of proper Imperial? What would you call that? That's a dialect, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love Titus Welliver. I'm a big fan of Bosch, and he's been good in everything he's been in. But give us something, you know. Let us at least be the bad guys. I love that those three, that whole cockpit vibe and what was going on in there going forward into the episode. I love that. I was totally engrossed by that. But yes, they need to be RSC. This is not acceptable.
Yeah, it was definitely a little jarring to hear that the two leaders here, the 2 Imperial leaders here, be totally Americanized. Just something we're not used to. Just something we're not used to in Star Wars. But you're right. The interplay between these 3 characters was fantastic. These were Imperial agents. I mean, this was like so well played by these folks here. The pilot, he knew it was coming. You know,
I love how you can tell when these 2 guys in the pilot seats were like they knew that their time was up. They were like, "Oh, this is it. We're screwed." I loved the whole like train heist vibe of this whole siege of the ship. Though it was great.
It was so great. So they are, I guess the rule on Trask is you have to kind of slowly like drive or fly out from the port.
No wake zone.
Yeah. Good point. And they had to fly out far away, so they got to kind of level out before they can head up to atmosphere. So it gives the Mandalorians some time to, of course, try to take over, to Kyle's point, train heist. Once again, another, I think, nod to Solo. We get to see this very fun train heist sequence here. Josh, what's on your mind?
So I just wanted to go back to the accent thing. I think it actually makes sense in the timeline because my understanding is that the British accent that the Imperials have is a core world's accent. Mm-hmm. And so if we're in the Remnant they don't have control of the core anymore, you're gonna have different accents. I mean, and if you listen to any of the new Thrawn audiobooks that have Eli Vanto in them, he's from Wild Space, and he sounds like a yokel. He has a southern accent. So
and they do. You're right. They even write Timothy Zahn actually wrote that into the novel that they have that accent.
So I mean,
it's either really lazy or really close attention to detail. One of the two.
I doubt that.
There's no in between.
I doubt that, but it technically does make sense if you think about the state of the Empire.
And they are in the Outer Rim.
The general that was in A New Hope that Vader chokes in the boardroom, talking about the Death Star being
Tag.
Yeah, he wasn't British though, was he?
I don't
think he was.
I mean, yeah, Mark, you would know. I mean, that was filmed in Pinewood, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Elstree, I think that was. That was Richard LaParmentier. He's American, so I used to run his website years ago. So.
So I don't think it's uncommon for you just don't see it in most of it.
Yeah, it was a little jarring, but it worked. It's it adds a little bit. Okay, how about this? It adds a little bit of flavor. Let's
better character. Yes.
So let's savor that flavor and let's kind of dive into a little bit more flavorful things here. The Mandalorians heading into the ship. So
chef kiss.
My goodness. You get to see once again the Mandalorian jetpacks, beautiful, and you get to see these fantastic action scenes. Now, someone here in the chat said the stormtrooper. Here it is. The stormtrooper's way too shiny and clean for being a remnant. I think they still qualify as remnants. The Empire's gone. I mean, or they're just these factions, these outlaw factions of the Empire here. But it is cool seeing a lot of the classic stormtrooper looks, and there's a lot of troopers in this episode.
So many.
I wonder if they got the 501st to come back and reprise their roles here, because there were so many troopers here.
Well, and they're running a transport from like a ocean world too, so like it stands to reason that they're not going to be dusty and brown.
Oh, good call.
Well, that's true.
So first, it's a well-run ship as well with that captain in charge. It felt like a well-run ship.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah,
I mean, it was nice to see it was a Gazanti class. Yeah. So if you play Armada or anything like that or X-Wing, you've seen those there and you've seen them in the animated series. It was nice to see the live action version of that ship, which was really cool. But even though they're remnants, the Empire would still hold a certain class of decorum with their troops and their soldiers and trying to maintain that image that the Empire still exists. Ergo, when they finish, he says, "Long live the Empire." Right. They're still trying to maintain that decorum. The previous that we saw in Navarro, I think they were dirty just because of the planet environment and where they were versus this is clearly a Imperial shuttle. So the standard is to remain clean, hold that decorum of the Imperial look.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a good call out there. But hey, either way, they got blaster bolts all over them now. So now they're dirty.
Yeah. And to what Mark was saying, I think it seems like this guy is definitely running a more traditional, like Imperial tight ship, whereas Werner Herzog was like kicked back, having cocktails, trading Beskar for secret missions,
hanging out with Grief.
Because when Moff rolls up with all his troops, all his stormtroopers are shiny with the Death Troopers. They weren't dirty.
I'm sure they will be because he's just killing people for no reason.
Good point. All right, so here we are. The Night Owls are in here now. They have infiltrated this ship and they are blasting their way through because Bo-Katan is desiring a certain particular item that she thinks might be on this transport. And they work their way back to the cargo hold. And you get these scenes that go back and forth through the cockpit with the officers, and you get to hear over the radio, there's so many of them. And the pilot's like, it's actually 4 life forms. And they appear to be Mandalorian. And then you just see their looks and it's like, oh, dude. So they make their way back to the cargo hold, and the classic scene of the elevator, right? You get to see the different levels that they're going on. So there's this anticipation that they're going to be coming out of these elevator doors, and the captain or whoever the leader, the Imperial officer, remarks, "Hey, they're coming through. We gotta," what does he say? "We gotta blast them, or we gotta
hold this line." And for a split second, he thinks we're just gonna have this standoff, which is not how that happened at all.
He's so brave. I love that he's so seems so pretentiously brave in this moment. And then when the fighting actually comes to him and the Mandalorians rip through this door, he just utterly panics and close the doors. He starts screaming and
which one? All of them.
All of them. Every door. Close every door there is.
It was so good. And he traps the Mandalorians in there, and there's a moment of relief. He signals up to the command center, the front of the ship there, and we got him, the bridge, and we got him. And he goes, where are they? What did he say? He's like, where are they trapped?
Control room.
Control room.
And then once they realize what this is.
Face.
Oh, the oh shit face. Exactly. Hits the button and they all fly out. And it was another fantastic moment. Very smart tactic there. So love it. I want to take a break here. Noah, cheers. We got a pond water reference in the chat. Thank you. Cheers for joining us. Always glad to have you here. Glad to create content for everybody. This is awesome. This is a lot of fun. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. This is a good conversation here about Chapter 11. So here we are. The officers get blown out. They close the back of the panel up, and they're going through the weapons cache. They want to find something. Obviously, they want the weapons to restock the Night Owls, the Mandalorian faction. But Bo-Katan is after something. I mean, you could tell she's got a mission, and she's radioing up to the bridge, and they have some dialogue back and forth. You know that they're going up to the bridge. The commanding officer is like, "Yo, dude, we are screwed." Calls up Moff Gideon. And we finally get the Moff Gideon moment in this season where he's asking for reinforcements. He needs some help. And Moff Gideon, being an absolute brutalist, is like, yeah, wait, are these the same pirates that attacked before? These the Mandalorians? Oh, sorry. Like, no help
Sucks
for you. Yeah, sucks to be you.
But he realized it was a lost cause. He was cutting his losses.
Yeah, I mean, for real. I mean,
totally not worth it.
And that's where I have many theories that we can get to afterwards.
Good. So they make their way up to the bridge, but there's these moments that we kind of talked about earlier in the show, and I think it was done so well where it shows how well trained the Night Owls are, how disciplined they are in battle, how smooth they are in battle. And they had Din kind of almost clumsy and kind of like, whoa, these. I mean, we know Din Djarin's a hell of a fighter. Hand-to-hand combat, the whole deal. I mean, really inventive fighter, creative fighter, is a Mandalorian. But the Night Owls are a different breed. I mean, really, this is like exceptional level tactics. And that
they would be a good bit older than him too, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Bo would be about like 48-ish. When I wrote my article back in July, I did a bunch of like figuring out when she said like she's younger than Satine, and Satine's the same age as like Obi-Wan, and then basing it off Obi-Wan's age, and then so she would be like between like 46 and 48-ish.
Okay. I mean, I hope
I think Din's supposed to be like 35.
They all move pretty well.
she's just been through some stuff. There's no way he could have that like practical experience as a warrior that she has.
For sure. And it shows. And Bryce Dallas Howard, to her credit, really pulled that out on this episode. So of course, here we go. Moff Gideon's like, yeah, you're done. Sorry, I'm not going to come help you. And they uttered the line, "Long live the Empire," at the end of the transmission. And you knew what was going to happen. He pulled a what's Richard E. Grant's character in Rise of Skywalker. He just this guy just shoots his officers. And it was a really impressive moment to see on a Disney Plus series. It's just like they are pushing bounds to some audience members, and that was one of those moments where it's just brutal. So he murders the two officers there, and he's gonna take down the ship. He's done, and the ship's going down. The Mandalorians are making their way up to the bridge, and they're all sliding around, and they get to the bridge, and you have all of these crazy stormtroopers here that are just firing rapid fire. I forget what the blaster model is, but it's that rapid fire. There you go. It's just a wall of laser fire, and they can't get through it. So, of course, Mando's like, all right, dude, this is crazy. They're losing altitude. Sasha Banks' character is calling out the altitude drop. They don't have much time left. Mando, just being who he is,
as if he doesn't have a child waiting back home for him.
Well, he's confident. He
raises my blood pressure.
Well, and I get it. You've got armor on, but guess what? It's not fully covering your body. There's gaps
the plot armor is, Justin.
So
the plot
you're
armor
telling me that multiple DLT-19s shooting at you can't hit any one of those holes?
Multiple weak spots.
Well, they can't hit the side of a bantha. They established that earlier in the episode.
True.
They did establish that. So Mandalorian, he goes out, he takes a bunch of hits. It's a really hero's moment, and he has his two thermal detonators, launches them under a hail of laser fire, and blows up the troopers. Great scene.
I'm just going to put this out there. Stormtroopers on their lower back, the little round canisters in their back, are thermal detonator containers. You're telling me that they're at the end of the hall and they never used them? Like, come on.
They've never used them ever. I think they just give them to them and never train them on it or
canister
something.
in the
They
back
don't
is
tell
a
them what to
thermal
do with them.
detonator canister. Like that's where they get them from.
Yeah.
They've never used them. So frustrating.
Well, hey, the heroes made it to the bridge at this point. So thank goodness they didn't use those thermal detonators. Yeah. And the Mando is the first one in the bridge. The officer is still, he's got the sticks down, the yokes down, and pulls him out of the seat. Mando jumps in the pilot's chair. Sasha Banks jumps in the co-pilot chair. They start to level out, and Bo-Katan has that blade. Oh, let's talk about that blade that comes from the gauntlet. Mark, what did you think about when she stabs the stormtrooper in the throat? I mean,
she wasn't messing around, was she? And you say about the armor having weak spots, and the Beskar covers so much, and Imperial Stormtrooper armor's the same. You get under the helmet, and you're done.
Oh yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. She was not messing around there. Yeah, she wasn't messing around at all. No. So I love the aggression in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and she turns around, has that classic Clone Wars, that pose that it's framed out so well in the cartoon. Finally get to see it in live action. Still can't get over that. So she's got that blade up to the officer's throat and demands to know where the Darksaber is. And there's some good dialogue, and I forget what the dialogue is, but it's really intense. And he goes, if you ask me that question,
something about it used to belong to me, or something about that. Maybe that was
have
earlier.
It?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have it?
If the fact that you're asking, you already know the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
So really awesome dialogue there. It kind of foreshadows maybe where that arc is going to go, which is fantastic. I'm glad that's going to get explored. And he commits suicide. I think
it was awesome.
I love the Star Wars version of the cyanide capsule. Yeah.
It looks way more painful than cyanide capsules, though.
It looked like it shocked him.
It looked like
it was
hurt.
Electrocuted him.
Yeah, I thought he bit into it and then it electrocuted his brain.
Him to death.
The fake tooth, like that one tooth, like when you clamp down on it.
Yeah.
I would tell myself accidentally do that.
Was that called a lullaby or something when you used that suicide?
Yeah.
Name? I'm sure it was lullaby or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Really, once again, I mean, this is a brutal episode. It was very, very definitely the easiest. I think probably the most violent Mandalorian episode yet. I mean, there's a lot of action sequences in here and a lot of very stunning visuals here. Really wild. Josh, what you got?
I just wanted to say that I feel like I saw a number of people when the scoops were coming out. They're like, "Oh, Dave Filoni's going to fill this with all these characters and it's going to ruin the show." Like, not a lot of people, but enough that it was annoying and I noticed it. But I really feel like the people that they're adding, like everyone they've added so far, it like fits the story they're telling.
It's definitely adding value. Forced. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And well, let's talk about some more value here. So they break into the bridge here. Obviously, we talked through all this, and here is the moment. The Mandalorian was like, "Yo, I need to find the Jedi. I need to figure this out." So Bo-Katan utters some dialogue and talks about, "Yeah, I'll help you out, yada yada yada. If you ever want to join us, you can find me here." But here it is. The Forest Moon of Corvus and the city of something or other.
The goosebumps I have.
There you will find Ahsoka Tano. Now, I got home late from work and my fiance was watching The Mandalorian. So I got there right before this scene, and she had that reaction that we probably all did. I got to see it in another human, though. It was when she said that, it was like pure emotion. But then Neely, my fiance, then goes, "Wouldn't it be funny if she said that Ahsoka Tano's back on Tatooine?" And Mando's just like, "Gotta go back to Tatooine." You gotta be
kidding me. Just be like, "I'm not taking the child to the Jedi. Yeah. I'm leaving. Goodbye."
It's like, yeah, I know where another Jedi is. He's on this planet called Tatooine. And Mando's just losing his mind. That would be funny. But so this is really, I mean, what an exceptional moment for live action Star Wars. What an exceptional moment for Star Wars fans who have dedicated so much of their time loving these stories, really having the emotional connection with Clone Wars, Rebels, everything that we've come to know. Ahsoka Tano, I mean, we are just probably weeks away from a reveal of a live action Ahsoka. This is
Do you guys
unreal.
think we'll see her next week?
No, I think we're 2 weeks out.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At earliest.
Yeah. I really, that was an emotional, unexpected. I said, man, we got Bo-Katan. That's all you need. And then he busts out an Ahsoka reference. I mean,
I'm just like, I just want it to be good. I have this pit in my stomach now that like, oh God, just pull it off.
Yeah. And Mark, what do you think about this? What do you think about Ahsoka making the transition into live action? What are your thoughts on it?
I'm all ready for it, but I agree with Carl. If they don't quite make it, they've made everything else work so well. If that doesn't land, that's got to stick the landing better than the Razor Crest did on Trask. It really has.
That's for sure. Yeah.
If they get that wrong, they've really stuffed it up if they get that wrong. So, but I'm confident they will. But yeah, I mean, that was the moment that had me out of my seat, literally on my own, watching it this morning on my own in the room, and I was out of my chair. And we all kind of knew it was coming, but even in the moment when it happens, it's still a very, very pleasant surprise. I just love the thought that Din has got so little knowledge of the Jedi, in fact, practically nothing.
Yeah.
That it could have been Ahsoka Tano, he could have said Count Dooku, it would have meant nothing to him,
Right.
Yeah, it's there's no frame of reference for him, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. And also Ahsoka as well, we don't know quite where she's going to be at this point of time in terms of her own knowledge and journey. And I just think back to George always saying, you never find out where Yoda was from. It was one of those, there was a handful of things, you never see Han and Chewie meet. Yeah, it's things that we've now seen, of course, but there's certain things, and one of the big ones was you'll never find out where Yoda came from. I just think back to that Topps card they pulled, way back in the day. So it feels that there's things finally after literally decades we're gonna get to see. I'm just assuming, does even Ahsoka know where Yoda's? Because obviously we're assuming Yoda. Does she know where it is? Will they have to go on a journey? Is it a cameo she's going to be in, or is she really going to team up with Mando for a few episodes? That's what I'm really keen to know now.
Yeah. And then there's also the whole element of he's looking for Jedi and she's no Jedi.
It's the thing where, like, for the universe at large, a person carrying a lightsaber is a Jedi. You know what I mean? And like, we know the subtleties of the like allegiances and stuff, but I don't think everybody does.
Right.
Yeah.
Justin, what you got? Or Josh, you were up.
Josh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, fair enough.
So I was going to say it's interesting because he knows little about the Jedi, but he barely knows anything about his own people.
True.
He doesn't know anything
really
about
unaware.
the Mandos. Like, he was clueless. They were like, dude, you're just a religious zealot. And he's like,
when you're indoctrinated
no, I'm
into a
not.
cult
Like,
as a child.
right. He's like, no, I'm not. What are you talking about? And they're like, no, we eat, sleep, and breathe Mando all the time. Like, we're from there, bro. Like,
right.
He has no idea.
Get on our level.
Right. Like, he has no idea. He doesn't even know his own people, like the creeds, like past or their people's past. So
well, he doesn't know that he was talking to the former ruler of Mandalore.
Right.
No.
Like,
Like,
his world has just like opened up a million times larger. And I think it's hard for him to kind of compartmentalize all that. And just, he's got to like, he's like, look, he goes back, he gets the child. Let's go home. I got to debrief. Like, I gotta take a bubble bath. I need a bantha bomb.
Isn't that he needs a bantha bomb? Isn't that interesting though? And Maggie, I'll jump to you in just a second. But isn't that interesting that also is the perspective of a lot of the new audience members for The Mandalorian too?
I'm sure it's intentional.
They're discovering this just as Din is discovering this. So that hopefully, if they enjoy it, I always think of my nephew, who's 15, and if he enjoys it, is he going to now go explore Bo-Katan's history and the history of Mandalore? Is it going to generate that excitement for a new generation of Star Wars fans? Which is, I'll be a little controversial. We didn't get that from the sequel trilogy. I don't think it generated that much interest for a young generation, but the Mandalorian clearly is. So hopefully Din is that proxy for those new audience members.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking on like the timeline of when this is happening, it's 5 years after the Battle of Endor. So is Luke rebuilding the Jedi Temple at this point? Yes. And is there like a potential? How will they work that in? So like that's where like my mind goes. We're never actually going to see him hand the child off to the Jedi. because
interesting.
I don't see them like casting someone to be a young Luke Skywalker, because he would be just 5 years past what we know Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi. And so I feel like they'll have to go a different route.
Mm.
And also, I really don't want him to go to the Jedi Temple, because then Ben kills him. And I don't need that.
Josh, what you got?
I remembered what it was. Dave's not going to mess up Ahsoka. It's not possible.
No, God, no. No, I don't think it's going to happen. But I am intrigued on how it's going to happen. I mean, this is just so fascinating to think about the practical effects, the digital artistry that will bring Ahsoka to life. It's just such a colorful, dynamic character. And
so
what
much
are they
harder to
do
an alien, a non-human. It's way harder to take live action.
Is Ashley going to be doing the voiceover? There's a million
That's
questions.
What I'm most worried about.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
I'm most worried about
Rosario or a combo.
Yeah, if you're a diehard fan, I mean, it's interesting. So real quick, we'll just wrap up the episode, chapter 11 here. So, he discovers this knowledge about Corvus and finding Ahsoka Tano. He goes back to retrieve the child. Child's playing with the cute little tadpole life form in there. And you get this cute little moment where he's like, I want to play with the little creature. It's just a little baby moment there, a little toddler thing.
And again, this was him learning about life.
Right. Exactly. Learning moments. That's what we want to get out of this, so that we get a fully grown.
That reminded me of something that I cannot believe that Maggie didn't mention, but when Din drops Baby Yoda off at the babysitter's, basically, and he's like, mind your manners,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In my defense, we brushed past that part in the story pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's true. So they get.
He
so
also
he's got
said
the child
getting a pet, which I thought was adorable.
That was funny. To wrap up the episode here, they go to the dock to go pick up the Razor Crest. And it is just utterly disgusting and mutilated, and it was just ramshackled, put back together from this Mon Calamari docs person, and he's like, "Wait, I gave you 1,000 credits," and the Mon Cala doesn't even say anything. He just sign here, buddy. Like, I don't care. It's like whatever.
Hands him the pad. Sign away, bro.
Classic humor. And he gets inside, and this thing is covered in fishnets and trolleys and all these different types of things. And how funny was that moment? I mean, it's just brilliant. And what does he remark when he sits down?
Something about Mon Calamari.
Mon Calamari.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's right. Oh, it's so good.
He even had like netting on the back of his seat, like over the cushion. Like, why? Like, it didn't need fixed.
That part was just for aesthetics,
right?
Yeah. So he's back in this crest, which, my goodness, has it taken a beating? And there's this other squid, this other creature that comes down to try to eat the child. And the great dad moment, like when a child falls off of a couch and they just rush in and grab it. Classic
parent
moment
reflexes.
There. Parent reflexes. Good call, Kyle. And he grabs this squid, which we of course see the child slurping the noodle.
I think it was a baby mammacore.
Oh,
I think it was the same thing that was in the bottom of the ship, just tiny.
Baby.
Yeah.
And then the child's sitting there.
Yep, he ate it. The Razor Crest is the new hunk and junk of the galaxy. We definitely agree with that one. Maybe not the fastest, but it's definitely the new hunk of junk. So then you see him fly off, and it's real sputtery and crazy like this. So great episode. We all agree this has given us goosebumps throughout the whole conversation here tonight. Quick theories. We've already kind of touched on this, and this is why I kind of want to wrap up the episode on this. Everyone has said it in the chat here. A lot of people have said it in the chat. Really what I was going to say. I think that, Ahsoka is going to be somewhat of a guide on this journey, not a major player, but a guide to then get to the next chapter, the next phase. I'm not going to really dive into the long form just due to time here, but I do feel that at some point this is going to wrap Dave Filoni full circle, and we will get Ezra Bridger into the story. As we all know what happened. Ezra and the Purrgil, Thrawn, they go out to wherever they go. Maybe Ezra is the one who discovers the planet with the tiny Yoda species, and we get a handoff as we know Ahsoka and Sabine Wren are on Journey to find Ezra. There's 2 journeys going on in pretty much the same time frame. This is going to be incredible. I just mark my words. Filoni clearly has no fear in storytelling, and because he knows he can pull it off. And as a huge Rebels, as anyone that listens to the Star Wars Friends podcast, that is my Star Wars jam, Star Wars Rebels. And to see potentially where this could go, and clearly from the comments here, a lot of people are on Team Ezra. So that's kind of, I have a long form. I'll save it for our podcast, but that's where I think it's going to go. Mark, where do you think that this is going to go long term in this journey?
I don't know, and I've not given it too much thought because I'm really enjoying being in the moment of things coming to us, and that's not to dig out anybody who wants to plan ahead, because I really get your logic, and with Filoni, hats off to him. He does seem to think so far ahead, because it's too cleverly stitched together not to be thought out. At least planned out to a degree. That's the vibe I get. He's sat there at some point probably with George with his little yellow notepads and just thought out some sort of Lord of the Rings plot, and all these stories, Clone Wars, obviously coming back as well, played into that, Rebels, and now this and other stuff, because we've got Cassian coming, Kenobi coming. There's going to be other stuff I can see sort of fitting into this. Where will it go? I don't know. I just keep thinking World Between Worlds has got to come into play at some point. Just feels like that. If Yoda's from anywhere, that's probably where he's from. I don't know. But yeah, I'm happy to go wherever he wants to take us. I've got more trust in him than most.
Yes. Wow. I've never heard anyone say that Yoda might be from the World Between Worlds. That is just giving me a whole bunch of things to think about on my walk tomorrow morning. So I'm very excited about that. That is this is good. This is good. Maggie, you got really excited when I was talking about Ezra Bridger. Are you on the same team, Ezra? Are you? Yes,
I really want Raul to play Ezra. So
okay.
I really hope that he's not just been yanking our chain, and that maybe because okay, so Katie posted yesterday, can't wait for Friday, and then everybody got excited, and she's like, oh, it's just my cheat day. And so everybody got excited with Raul, and Raul was like, oh, I'm just joking.
Well, and then Pedro, he's being a little bit more direct, though.
But Pedro started responding to Raul this week, which I thought was suspicious. I was like, that's
really
suspicious.
Okay.
Yeah, he responded to 3 of his tweets this week, and I was like, that's suspicious.
Yeah.
So he's perfect in my mind for where Ezra would be in that age group. And I've loved him for years as an actor. So I would really like to see him. And he's a Star Wars fan. And anytime that an actual genuine Star Wars fan gets to be in Star Wars, I feel like an angel gets their wings, like a pilot gets their wings. It's just perfect. So I really want to see that.
Yeah. Josh, where are your thoughts at, man?
I'm on board with this because it would get us live action Thrawn. And it would get us something else that I'd really, really, really like is a version of Ezra where he's not a whiny little turd.
Oh, come on.
That was only at the beginning.
What? Nah, he was still whiny at the end, too.
Oh,
he was less whiny, but he was still whiny.
Jeez. I didn't see that coming tonight.
I like him, but sometimes I'm like, dude, just shut up.
No, I agree with you. I felt the same way. I loved Ezra. But I felt like he had moments where he was a lot like Anakin, where Anakin was a whiny little kid, or Luke. And so I think that's just a character, caricatures type that we fall into when we see these characters.
Agreed.
So I don't dislike Ezra. I just think he's whiny.
Now, live action Thrawn. We all saw
Pierce Brosnan.
We all saw the celebration banner. Is it Pierce Brosnan? Is he coming in and playing Thrawn? That's going to be interesting.
It's so funny because Jason Palmer, who did that art, is a friend of mine, and I can't not be like, dude, you created Pierce Brosnan Thrawn.
That's so good.
No, I will not take it back. Okay. He's whiny.
Yeah. Yeah. Luke was whiny too.
He's Luke in Episode 4, and I want him to be Luke in Return of the Jedi.
6, yeah.
Well, I do want to give a quick shout out Rebel Art. Rebel Art, one of our great friends here, Rebel Art Empire. You can follow them. We talk about them often. Ezra Pin just finished production. And Thrawn, what perfect timing. Look at that. Oh, perfect timing.
What do you know
Very
that we
cool.
Thrawn and
don't? Rebel Art
Ahsoka, you
Empire.
say?
Yeah, I'm into that. So, all right, this is pretty crazy. We're gonna see where it goes. No, one prediction I made, I'm just gonna get this off my chest. I am now a little less confident that Chewbacca will appear in this season on one of those spaceports. Now, Jonas Sutamo, we want to talk about how tweeting and maybe cryptic tweets. Jonas is on Team Mando hard. I mean, really reps Mando hard.
Who wouldn't want to be on this show? It's like the hottest thing on TV.
It is.
Everybody wants on it.
Mark, do you think it would be out of question to see Chewbacca in some type of capacity in Mandalorian?
No, it would fit perfectly. It wouldn't be a thing. Wouldn't be an issue. I still think they could have worked 3PO and R2 into Solo and just had them on their droids adventures in the background if they wanted to. So I don't see any reason why you couldn't get Chewie in there or. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't think Chewie goes off and does his own thing. He's not tied to Han's hip or anything. Exactly. They do their own thing. So it could be Life Day. I don't know. They could.
Yes, it could be Life Day.
Oh, that would be so cool.
I'd love to see that. It'd be,
every 3 years.
Exactly. Yeah. So long answer, yes.
All right, cool. All right, I'm good.
You're going to convert everybody to this theory.
I think it's fun. I think that listen, Star Wars is all about poetry. We know that. We know about, and now Disney's all about synergy. So combine those two, and you're going to have maybe Mandalorian going to Batuu and really drive the theme park and having Chewie and Hondo there. Can you imagine Hondo in live?
Hondo's got to be in it.
I need Hondo in live action. I need Hondo.
So that's where my brain is.
I'll never get the person I want playing Hondo, but I want Hondo.
Hondo is one of the most fun characters in all of Star Wars.
Yes.
They'd be crazy not to use him if there's a way to do it organically.
Yeah. So that's kind of where my brain is. Thank you, Mark, for indulging me and being so kind on that. All right. So we are about to wrap up here, but we do have something very special. We did have a contest that we put out for our Razor Crest Reacts episode today, and we did have a bunch of people enter into the contest. Thank you. If you win this, you will win a Black Series Mandalorian in the Beskar armor. You're going to win a Black Series Child, and you're going to win a Star Wars Friends hoodie. So I do have one of those. There's that beautiful. I got mine hanging around here too, actually, conveniently enough, on his little jetpack. So we're going to go.
You don't win this one. You don't win the opened one. You win a new one. Not
you win a
the
brand
open
new
one
one in the box. Good point, Justin. It's around here somewhere. I'm surrounded in Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah. So let's pull up the browser window here, and we will do a live poll on the episode. Just got to get this tab up. Here we go. All right, Star Wars Friends Razor Crest giveaway here. Here's all our entries here. So thank you for reviewing the podcast. Thank you for sharing the podcast with your friends. That's how you earn a contest entry here. And we will have more contests as the season goes on. So for everybody that entered, thank you. We got some really great reviews, actually. Want to thank everybody who submitted a review this past week. And I would love to pull them up, but time permitting, we'll read them on our next podcast here. Thank you for everyone submitting them. Let's go ahead and draw the winner here. Oop. Wrong tab. There we go. All right. Everyone's
Google
coming
machine
through here. Where are we going? Settings, confirm, countdown, classic ad. I mean, that's perfect. Here we are at JF Catcher. JF
Excellent.
Coker. Okay. Hey, so you won the Mandalorian Black Series and Child Black Series. So we will definitely reach out to you, and the Star Wars Friends hoodie. Can't forget about that. So very cool. All right, everybody. This is well done. Thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out with us. Everyone in the chat, it's been a pleasure. And Mark, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and what you're into? What are you working on? Any big projects right now?
I'm working on a pitch for a book because I've never done an official book, so fingers crossed that'll come to fruition. So
that'd be awesome.
That's on the go. So wish me luck.
Yeah.
Always Insider stuff. So Insider 200's coming in hot. So working on that. So looking forward to getting that out there. And then of course Fantha Tracks, the website, the podcast and such. So keeping me busy. So it's always good. I think you can see if you want to find me online. prefect_timing is the place to find me. And every day at Fantha Tracks.
Fantha Tracks is my go-to. I have followed Fantha Tracks for so long. I mean, really, the content that you post is your Instagram's fantastic, and really is my go-to for a lot of new release content that I've just. If anybody is interested in finding a great aggregator for all things Star Wars, go to Fantha Tracks. I mean, really is amazing. And then Star Wars Insider. I mean, come on.
Who doesn't love Insider?
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic.
It's
so,
awesome.
Mark, you are definitely a pleasure to hang out with. I hope that you hang out with us again, and we'll do a deep dive in your career. Yeah, that would be super fun.
You've been a great room. It's been great fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Very cool.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat, thank you for hanging out tonight too. And hopefully we gave you some funny laughs and some good content, some goosebumps and all the good stuff that we experienced today watching Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian. If you want to talk to the show, you can find us at SW Friends Show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can email us, show@starwarsfriends.com. And you can find me at Known as Chris. Where can they find the rest of you at?
This is Josh, and my rap name is Little Maneuver.
Little Maneuver.
And, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Battle of Tanab.
This is Justin. You can find me on Twitter at I am the Bendu.
This is Kyle, and I've never wanted a rap name so bad in my entire life. I'm KB_legend on Twitter and Instagram and everything.
This is Maggie. I am at Maggie of the Town, and I'm pretty sure my mom's going to make me go to toy rehab because you guys. So
sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So many good toys. So many good toys.
I just got my third Baby Yoda.
Yeah. Oh, you got the one that kind of moves and wiggles, right?
I got the one that follows you around the room.
Did you get the remote control one? Yes.
That's
I know.
dangerous.
I'm thinking about it.
It's
dangerous.
It's good.
So everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Be on the lookout for our deep dive of Chapter 11. Will be released this upcoming week. We hope you can join us again. Thank you so much. As always, we're going to end this in classic fashion. May the Force be with you.
Always.
Always.
And also with you.
This is the way.